Hello, fiends, friends, and familiars. This is your old pal Matt Orozco from Macabre Daily, and I am excited to be joined by Benjamin Dutill, who I came to know through his Horror Heathen YouTube channel, as well as his Instagram account and his South Jersey Horror podcast. So, Benjamin, thank you so much for spending some time to chat with me today.
Oh man, pleasure's all mine, Matt. How you doing?
I'm doing well. We're getting near the end of the year, which means work is slowing, but when work in other ways is increasing. So I don't know. We're living, we're surviving, we're keeping warm. But Benjamin, why don't you tell folks watching this a little bit about yourself and your various different channels, like your Jersey Horror Podcast and your Horror Heathen YouTube channel?
Oh, of course, man. I would love to. Like I said, I'm Benjamin Dutill. I am the host for the Horror Healing YouTube channel and the South Jersey Horror Podcast. Mainly is that I interview actors and actresses who have starred or who are going to star in horror movies. So, I started my podcast about 4 years ago, and then a year later, I established my YouTube channel, and yeah, that's what I do. I talk to them and about their role in the movie. I get to know them more on a personal level. And then when it's all over, they get credits on their IMDb page. So, which I think is like the main reason why they actually agreed to do it.
That's not a bad point, but I think it's also they enjoyed it's good to get the press out there, right? And I'm interested to know, you mentioned you started this 4 years ago. Like, what was the kind of impetus to get going with this? Was it like many of us, like a pandemic idea that occurred when you're like, oh man, I'm really not doing as much as I thought I could, spend some time doing something else? Or how did you come to starting this thing up?
Well, I was sitting in my living room and I have Spotify. I have the Spotify premium account. And I was like, what are podcasts? I had no idea what a podcast was whatsoever. So a friend of mine, he said, okay, this is what people talk about various subjects. I'm like, okay, cool. I love horror. I want to talk about horror. And then I started, I went to Anchor, and then Anchor switched over to Spotify. So thank God, because Spotify is a lot easier to use than Anchor. And then I had a hard time doing what I wanted to do, what I love doing. I started off doing movie reviews and giving people my opinions of movies. I'm like, I want to take this one step further. I want to get actors on my show. So I reached out on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram. I even went TikTok, which is probably a bad idea because TikTok is the worst. Um, and then a friend of mine, DJ Frenchie, who is a director with A24 Films, said, if you want to get actors on your show, create an IMDb Pro account. I'm like, okay, so the basic account is free, but if you want a pro account, you pay $120 a year, which is a really good deal. So
Right?
yeah, and then he said this way you can get in touch with their publicists, their managers, the talent agents, et cetera, et cetera. He said come up with a template for an email, what you want to write, how you want to request them. So I did that. And yeah, and then it started going from there. My very first guest was Divinity Penn. She was really
Oh
cool.
yeah.
She started the movie for I think it was Frost. I think something with her being stuck in the woods or something, in the freezing weather, something like that. So yeah, she was my very first guest. I was nervous as hell. I had no idea what I was doing. And she's like, "Do you want me to take over?" I was like, "Yes, please," because I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah,
And
you'll
from
never
there, it's
forget
been
your
great.
first, will you?
No, and I even got T-shirts made. I gave her free T-shirts. I hear you're my first guest. Thanks for popping my cherry. I really appreciate it. So here you go.
Well, did you have a chance to talk to her about her movie Black Mass that she put out?
No, but I did interview two actresses who did star in that film.
Oh,
Um,
excellent.
for the life of me, I can't remember their names.
Was
I have
one of
already
them
had over
Sarah
106.
Nicklin?
Yes, she was the first one, I believe. And then I forgot she's the blonde actress. I forgot her name, but she was like one of the victims as well. Um, yeah,
Awesome.
it's I've had over I have so far I've had over 160 actors on my shows. So,
Yeah, I was
and
looking
I
at
got more
your,
coming.
your videos. I mean, it's an impressive and also kind of diverse list of folks, right? I was checking your most recent one was Barbara Magnolfi, all the way from Suspiria. And you also have, some folks like Lauren Rivera who are obviously the en vogue final girl at the moment. So if you had to pick one, obviously we're not going to hold you to it, but if you had to pick one of your favorite interviews so far, which ones would you say would be on that list?
Oh, I will never forget this. Ken Sagows, who played Kincaid in Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3. He was a really cool dude. he was so happy to jump in because it was during the month of February, so I was promoting Black History Month. And he's like, "Yeah, let's do it, man." And I think in the middle of the interview, I told my friend Jason's a huge fan of him, loves the part three, he loves the whole franchise, but three is his favorite movie. He's like, "What's Jason's number? I'm gonna call him right now." I was like, "We're gonna do this in the middle of the interview? Really? This is gonna happen?" He's like, "Yeah." So I sent him in a message in Zoom what his number was, and he called him on the phone, but unfortunately it went to voicemail because my friend Jason was sleeping. He works nights. So we left the voicemail, and I thought that was like the coolest thing ever, man. And I was like, that is one thing I'll never forget. And my friend Jason called me, and he's just like, "Dude, that was awesome."
Ah, that's so cool. And I mean, you're basically like your best friend for life now because you hooked him up with the voicemail from his horror hero.
He still has it. That was like 2 years ago. So
Oh yeah, you're not deleting that thing. Hell, if
yeah.
I'm changing cell phones, I'm making sure that that's getting ported over. That's the first thing. Everything else, the pictures, that's secondary. But the voicemail from my favorite actor, that's coming with me first. Um, Now, as it comes to planning, right? I know a lot of folks that tend to watch our stuff and also check out our website. They are also in the content creation game or are close to it in the community. So how do you go about planning your content? Is it just very sporadic and just kind of whatever you feel like, or do you try and plan things out, schedule, have a bit of an outline? What's your approach?
Well, if I see a new movie coming out, I will try to get someone from that movie. Like Emily McLean, who came out, she was the little pill girl in Terrifier 2. As soon as that movie came out, I reached out to her mother, who her mother's her manager, and she agreed to come on. I was so ecstatic because I was like, "Holy crap, this is actually happening!" I did not expect her to say yes, but it was like the day after Terrifier 2 premiered. So, excuse me. And the girl who played Megan. Oh my God, I can't remember her name either. It
Yeah, I
was like the
saw her
day
at a
after the
panel like last summer, I think.
I got her the day after the premiere of the movie in New Zealand because she lives in New Zealand. So
Hmm.
there's a 15-hour time difference. That was kind of
Yeah.
hard. So and at 9 o'clock at night, it's like four in the afternoon there. So it was crazy. But yeah, I always try to get one of the main lead characters or the first victims in the movie. But if I can't get any of those, I don't care. Yeah, I'll get whoever I can get. I mean, and there's no theme unless I'm doing like last year for December, I did all actors who starred in Christmas movies, the Christmas horror movies, which I thought was really cool. But I had a really hard time doing this year, which I'm kind of disappointed. But hey, life happens. So I got other people lined up for this month. I will have one more interview next this month, and it's with Elise Muller. She's in the movie Dolls. So but yeah, I'm trying to reach out, man. I mean, whoever wants to come on my show, they get an IMDb credit. It's free publicity. I mean, I don't see yeah, it's cool to do.
No, for sure. And I mean, again, I think a lot of folks are willing to talk. At least has been our experience at Macabre Daily is that especially when there is leading up to the premiere of a film, whether it's just a regional premiere or the world premiere, they'll obviously do their rounds. But one of the things you kind of miss out on in those moments is you're often getting 7 to 15 minutes, right? Not a lot of time, so you really can't get intimate and deep into the questions. Um, but when it comes to what you're trying to grow as far as your reach and your audience, what are some of the people you'd love to have on, and what are some of the things you'd like to be doing? Assuming there's no barriers, right? You could do whatever you want. Money's not a problem, and you're the king of the world.
My golden egg is Robert England, but that's never gonna happen. So
Nah, never say never, but it's very difficult.
no, Monster Mania last year, I met Robert England. I have the whole VIP thing, and he wore my Freddy glove the entire weekend for photo ops.
Wow,
So, which I thought was really cool, and he autographed it for free. And so I asked him after he's out, he's like, "Would you like to come on my podcast and YouTube channel?" He's like, "No, I'm not doing any more interviews for my role as Freddy Krueger." He's like, "I'm tired of it." I was like, "I understand," but
fair. You should ask him like, I know I
it's
want
like,
to talk about 2001 Maniacs. That's what I'd talk to him about. To be like, hey man, I want to know about Freddy. Love Freddy, but he's right. He's answered all those questions. I want to know
yeah,
about, his role in Eaten Alive.
I'll do whatever it takes to get my word out there, man. I'm actually at the point where talent agents are contacting me to interview their clients. So I thought that was really cool. Like, I did one recently, Elena Sanchez.
Hmm.
She's in a movie upcoming called Boneface. And that's being premiered next year. So, but her manager reached out to me. He's like, "Hey, we want you to interview a client of ours. She's an award-winning actress." And then when I went on her IMDb pro page, I was like, "Hell yeah, I'll do this." I mean, she has a very impressive resume. And another one, Peter Jacobson, he was the Smile too. So he played Morris. His manager reached out to me as well, and I did not hesitate. I called back as soon as I read the email. I was like, when and where? I will skip work if I have to. I'll call out sick just to interview this guy.
Now, do you go and see every movie that premieres, or are you getting sent screeners? Where are you at in your publicist in your kind of PR journey?
Um, Sometimes I get sent screeners. It depends. But otherwise, I just go to the theater and watch the movie. So,
And
and
are
my
you like
wife
the kind of
basically
guy that
too.
goes every week, like the like every new movie you go and see it opening weekend, or do you go every like, more infrequently?
I go when a week after the premiere. That way, it's not so crowded. And I'm not a very big person on crowds.
Yeah,
So,
same.
is when I went to see Exorcist Believer, I waited like a week later, and I sat all the way to back in the corner. And it was all empty seats. I was like, sweet, I got my own spot. No one's gonna bug me back here.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I try and avoid busy movies on opening weekends, but I also don't have a theater near me, so it's not always easy to get, or at least not near enough where I'd be like, oh, I can go there easily. Um, So yeah, I do another podcast with a couple other folks. One of them, Mark loves horror. He goes see every movie every week. Like I'm pretty sure AMC has him on like a wanted list or something like that for his repeat offenses of showing up. Now I love to ask questions, and usually in the interviews I do, usually when we're talking to a filmmaker or an actor, whomever they're having some sort of film coming out, I love to ask them, what's your double feature with this movie? So if someone's asking you I've got my movie coming out, what are you going to put with it? But I want to know, instead of asking your favorite horror movies, what are the five movies that you would program for your own personal horror film festival?
Christ. Halloween's 1978, hands down. As you can see behind me, I'm a huge Michael Myers fan. And my wife thinks I'm crazy, but
Well, all our spouses think we're crazy, but
my
that's why they
whole
love
entire
us.
receipt behind it, all behind me, it's all Halloween stuff. So, definitely Halloween 1978. Hellraiser. I have a little sidewall over here. Has Hellraiser poster and my Pinhead mask
I got one over
signed
there
by
as
the
well, my
cast,
man.
signed by the cast of Hellraiser. I got from him Monster Me as well. So, and Clive Barker signed it, which I thought was really cool because that was his last convention ever.
Yeah.
So he's done with the circuit. So I made sure I ride or die, man. If I'm gonna die trying, I'm gonna get Clive Barker's autograph on my Pinhead mask. So they got Pinhead, Clive Barker, Doug Bradley, and whoever else was there from the Hellraiser franchise signed the entire mask. Um, oh man, what else? Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Love the original. I would love to meet Gunnar Hansen, but rest in peace. He's
Right.
so geez, that's a real tough question, man. I like so many movies. The Alien franchise. I love Aliens, the sequel to Alien. Absolutely love it. I have more things behind me. I have a Xenomorph popcorn bucket signed by the cast from the Alien franchise as well.
Oh,
So
fun.
yeah, and with this past Monster Mania in Oaks, PA, they had it, and I was like, I found out they're gonna be there. It's like, honey, let's let's take like $300 out the account. I'm getting all the autographs. I don't care.
Yeah, don't ask questions. Get in the car. We're going, and I'll get you something nice on the way home.
So Tom Skerritt was there, and I believe this is his last convention too. So I had to get his autograph because he played Dallas on Alien. Had to get it. So and Veronica Hart was there too. I interviewed her a couple years ago as well. Um, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I don't care what
Okay,
people say about it. I
I love
love
that
it.
movie.
I do too. The song is like a little earworm. You just can't get out of your head once in a while. Once it pops in, it's there for a couple days.
Yep.
Grant Kramer, I interviewed him. Went to the convention as well. He instantly recognized me when I walked to the door, which I thought was really cool. He's like, "Oh shit, it's Ben." Oh, I don't know if I'm allowed to cuss or not. I'm sorry. Um,
You can absolutely.
yeah, he's like, "Oh shit, it's you, it's Ben." I was like, "Yeah, what's up, dude?" He's like, "You want a picture?" Yeah, yeah, click. Yeah, yeah. It's really, I love it when actors recognize me at a convention because they've been on my show. It gives them 30 minutes just to be themselves. So it's all unedited, unrehearsed, and I say, "Hey, do what you want. You want to cuss? I don't care. You can drop the F bomb as many times as you want because nothing gets taken out on my interviews." So except for one time, I had a publicist call me and just like, "Can you take the last 6 minutes out?" I'm like, "Oh, screw you." It's
Yeah.
my interview.
Well,
I did
hope.
it anyway because I didn't want to get sued, so I took it out the last 6 minutes anyway. So,
Yeah, probably for the best. Now, when it comes to like 2024's horror movies, what would you say have been some of your favorites?
I did like Alien Romulus. I watched that again on on TV for like the 20th time and just drive my wife nuts. She's like, it's just movie. So it's on my favorites list. I loved Alien Romulus. I like how they went back, they did a little rewind, so it's between Alien and Aliens. So I like how they jumped in the middle of that and showed, hey, they recovered the xenomorph, and which I thought was a really big mistake. I wanted to slap somebody for doing that, but it's just movies.
Yeah, it was a decision, that's
Oh
for
my
sure.
God. What else have I watched? I can't keep track, dude. I've been seeing so many damn movies. Um,
Tell me about it. I actually spent the past 2 days taking all of my reviews that I've done and logging them in my letterbox because I only log letterbox watches if they're movies that I'm seeing for my own, like without having like not something I don't have to review. And so I think I was up to 197 movies I've watched this year. Um, so yeah, it's intense. I get it.
Smile 2 was definitely a lot better than the first one. I don't care what if people agree with me or not, they can kiss my ass.
I
Um,
think a lot of people do actually. I've heard from many people that Smile too. They prefer it. I haven't seen it yet, but I plan on seeing it once it's in coming home.
and I interviewed Ivan Carlo, who plays the crazy guy in that movie. You'll see when it comes out. He plays Alfonso. I was like, I watched that, was like, dude, I gotta get that guy on my show. And sure as shit, he didn't hesitate. He was on my show the week after I put the request out. So, oh my God, I can't keep track, dude. But there's a lot of movies I did enjoy this year. Um, but especially Alien Romulus because I love the Alien franchise. I've always been a huge fan of the Alien franchise.
So that to you was a win for the franchise.
Yeah,
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, I have as mentioned my podcast co-host Mark, he loved it. In fact, he loved it. He's loved it so much that he got an alien tattoo, and he had never seen an alien movie until this year. Can you believe that? Insane.
um, every year at my house, I have a potluck for National Alien Day, which is April 26th. So it's really cool. Everybody, all my friends come over and watch aliens. I do trivia, and whoever gets the most answers right gets a prize from my room. So
You gotta stream that, man. That'll be that's quite a thing to see because I think we haven't gotten to the area yet of people streaming parties for Alien Day, but we I think we're there. I think it's time. This you can break new
yeah,
ground here, is what I'd say.
absolutely.
Well, Benjamin, I'll give you the floor to kind of again, tell everyone how they can find you, what and what to look forward to. I know you've mentioned a lot of great things you've done up to this point. You have an amazing, like seriously, anyone that's interested in seeing a lot of actors' perspectives, just please go to his YouTube channel because it's full with usually 20 plus minute interviews. So it's not like the short little PR stuff. It's the real deal. So Benjamin, the floor is yours.
So yeah, you can find me on YouTube. I'm also on Instagram, the Horror Heathen YouTube channel, Facebook, Benjamin Dutill. I'm also on the Slasher app as well. It's an app where I'm finding amazing people on the Slasher app. I mean, there are independent movies uploaded to this app where you can sit home and watch, but you got to pay for them, which is like $4.99, which is no big deal. If you can't afford for it, let me know. I will write you a check, okay? And I'll send it. I will I will Zelle you or Venmo the money to you to watch these movies. I don't care. Um, but there's a lot of really cool people out there. It's another way to promote my YouTube channel. Also, I am starring in a film called the Farmhouse Murders, which is being released sometime next year. The director Kevin Duffy. Um, I reached out to him. I was like, "Hey, do you need anyone to do like a remote role?" He's like, "Yeah, sure. I have this character called Phil. He's a podcaster." I'm like, "Dude, I'm already in my element. Just say when. I'll do my demo reel."
I don't even need to act. I'll just show and be me.
So he gave me my lines, which is like 5 lines, but no big deal, easy to memorize. And he's like, "Well, I'm gonna try to make Phil a fan favorite." I'm like, "Sweet, that'd be cool," because it's a non-paid role, but which is fine because it's my very first role in a horror movie. I'm like, I don't care. Just put my mug in the movie. I don't care what you do with it.
Hey, careful on that front. You never know. You never know. Digitally edit your face into doing some weird stuff. But nevertheless, does that sound like you want to go into acting? Then is that the case, or is this just something you want to do for fun?
It's it's something I want to do for fun. Like I said, it's a remote role. I could do remote roles. I can't travel, obviously. I don't have the money for that kind of stuff. Um, but yeah, this movie has over 100 actors in it. It's got Eric Roberts, actors from Stephen King's It from 1990, um, and a bunch of other people you'll recognize if you just Google the Farmhouse Murders. You'll see the whole cast list. A lot of phenomenal actors. Stanley Johnson's in it for fuck's sake. I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude. I have to be in this movie now.
It's
So
destiny.
yeah. Anyway, yeah. I mean, sure. Just you can Google my name, Benjamin Dutill, and shit just pops up. It surprises me more every day. So
Well, remember, it's only the good things. All the bad things, if you look up Benjamin Dutill, are not this Benjamin. That's a different Benjamin. But all the good things are Benjamin Dutill. Well, we'll make sure to put your links to where people can find you in the notes. And, again, Benjamin, just want to say thanks so much for reaching out and for agreeing to have this conversation. I think it's really great to have folks like yourself share what they're doing, especially when you're covering a lot of ground with a lot of different people. And not only have you offered some great advice to people that would like to get started, but it sounds like you're open to having folks on who just want to chat horror. So if you're one of those people, I'd say reach out to Benjamin and strike up a conversation. Appreciate this, Benjamin.
absolutely, absolutely my pleasure. I love collaborating. I've been on Sledgehammer Horror Show. He's a really cool guy, Ken Sledge. He's really awesome. Reach out to him. I mean, he interviews actors as well. So it's phenomenal. Yeah, but thanks, man. It's just I feel honored. I feel pleasure. It's a huge pleasure for me. Yeah, cool, man. Rock on, man.
Awesome. Thanks, Benjamin.